Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I'm Kathy. I'm still getting over a cold, so please excuse my voice. So this is post number 4 for the New Year, New You series. So these are just 5 ideas that maybe someone wants to make changes in their life, small changes. It isn't anything, crazy, just little things here and there can end up being big changes and big improvements in our lives. And that's what I've done over many years. So the first one I put down is maybe finding a new hobby. So if you're thinking about, gosh, I'm bored some of the time. My friends have all these hobbies. My kids have hobbies or sports or whatever. My spouse has things that they do. I want to do something. So maybe look into, what might you be interested in? Maybe make a list. And sometimes cities will have like a community center, a community group where you can sign up for either free classes or really low cost classes. I've done tons of those when I lived in Sacramento. You could do cooking classes, yoga, self-defense, anything. Yeah, they usually have a little booklet or online. You can look and see what they offer. So yeah, if there's something you've always wanted to learn, now might be a good time. So our pastor in Oregon, where we came from, he had a story that he was telling us that every year he would learn something new. And I guess he's done it for many years, if not decades. And it could be anything from, learning how to knit or crochet, or learning how to scuba dive, or anything you can think of. Learning how to make leather goods like a belt or whatever. Yeah, he would name off some things that it's like, wow, really? You learned how to do that? And I think even one of the things was learning how to pull a tooth. I remember him saying something about that. Like maybe a friend of his was a dentist or something. I don't know. So, but he is kind of like that. He just, grabs life by the both horns and just goes and does whatever he wants. And he's, I think, 83 now, and he does these bike rides across the US every year. So with his group of friends or whoever, and he has Parkinson's. So he doesn't really let anything keep him down. So if that gives you any motivation, yeah, if there's something that you're like, oh, I've always wanted to learn how to, who knows, make egg rolls, or use clippers on my dog, or whatever it is. Yeah, it might be a good time. So number 2, I put down maybe schedule any medical appointments that you have been putting off for either a little bit or maybe even for a long time. And I've been there. I have put stuff off for years and years and years. And last year about this time, I got a whole bunch of stuff done that I needed to. And that was really good. Plus my insurance was ending. I think it was last May. And yeah, so I got a whole bunch of stuff done in April and May, which was really good. Like they say, be proactive about your health. If you're wondering about something, if you're worried about something, there's one way to find out and put your mind at ease. Pick up the phone, call and schedule an appointment. If you need to talk to an advice nurse or something like that. Yeah, it can be anything. It can be either just getting advice on something or scheduling an appointment to do the next step, maybe have a test ran or a scan or a whatever, but maybe now's the time for that. Number 3, I put maybe having boundaries for a work-life balance. So if you struggle with that, and something I saw the other day was that work emails don't belong in bed. So if maybe you're checking your phone or checking your laptop or whatever it is after you get home and you're checking your work emails and responding and yeah, all that stuff, but then you're feeling resentful and stressed out and exhausted and being pulled, gosh, I don't have time, the kids need help with their homework, or my spouse needs my attention, or I haven't made dinner any night this week, or whatever it is. You'll probably know if you're one of those people where you're just maybe putting in too much where you don't need to. And I would say most jobs, you probably don't need to. Maybe if you're a high up CEO or VP of something, vice president of something, maybe then, but yeah, I would definitely steer more towards having a work-life balance. Yeah, because we have to enjoy our lives. Work isn't everything. It's not 24 hours a day, and we have to have our life outside of there. So along those same lines is number 4, updating your resume to find a new job if you are miserable in your job. And yeah, I know people like this who are just so miserable. They hate their job year after year. They're just complaining. They pretty much don't have a very good quality of life just because their work stress and pressure is just hanging over them all the time. But at the same time, they won't do anything about it. They complain to everyone around them, and everyone's telling them, look for something else. You are absolutely miserable. And maybe even they're starting to have health problems, maybe some gastro issues with heartburn, maybe an ulcer, maybe migraines, maybe stress and tension in your back, neck, shoulders, where, you wake up and you can't turn your head because you slept wrong and you're just so tight and tense. Yeah, and it just increases from there. Your vision might start getting blurry and splotches and speckles. I've had that happen under extreme stress, and nothing's worth that. So if you are one of those people, maybe who complains and hates their job, and everyone around you is telling you to, find something else, even if it's something which maybe I'll link my video down below about how I left the corporate 9-to-5 and did food delivery, which was the best thing ever. There's always jobs out there. You can do food delivery, you can do Uber, Lyft, you can do Instacart, all those things. Yeah, you could even work, retail, you could work fast food. There's jobs out there, and, in the meantime, until you find something else. So I wouldn't be worried about, especially if you're in a larger, like we're in a really remote place, so I can't really do food delivery here like I used to. I used to do it full time. And so yeah, if you're in a decent city, and the last place was, the population was 50,000 people, and I was, yeah, definitely busy enough there. So if that gives you any kind of hope that, yeah, maybe I'll look into that. So yeah, I'll link my video down below about starting to do food delivery after I left the corporate world. All right. And then there's some free websites also for updating your resume, because people might think, oh, my resume is so old. I haven't touched it in 10 years, 20 years. And that's how mine is. And there's some free resumes. I have down earnbetter.com and canva.com, canva.com. So I haven't gone on there myself, but those are the two that I'm going to check out when the time comes, because I'm right now in between jobs. And yeah. Okay, and number 5, I have down possibly saving for an emergency. So most people, people who talk about this recommend saving 10% from your pay to put towards an emergency, because we all know that things happen. I just had to get 2 new tires a couple days ago. And like I said, I'm between jobs right now. So that's no fun, you know, when you have a big expense come up and you don't have money coming in. So, and if you can't do 10%, and I know what that's like, you know, let's say your check's $500 and that would be $50. If you're thinking there's no way I have an extra $50 every paycheck to just set aside, I need every little bit. You know, maybe just do either 25 or 20 or 10 or 5. I mean, anything is better than nothing. And over time, you know, just don't touch it, but it will grow. And then if you do have something come up, like, oh gosh, I need whatever done on my car or on the house, then you might have an extra $100 or $200 saved up, or you might have more than that for that emergency. So, or if you already have maybe an emergency fund, you can start working on paying off a bill. And they say that pick the one with the highest interest first, and then go from there. So my thought is it can go either way, because let's say you have 5 bills, but a couple of them are super small. Maybe they're, you know, just maybe a medical bill and maybe a dentist something, or a vet, or a whatever that you need to get caught up on. Maybe they're $50 and $60, and then you have credit card bills that, yeah, have really high interest. Sometimes it's so, what's the word? It's so refreshing, and it feels so good to just pay off something. So if you pick one of those small ones, like the $50 whatever, and just pay it off, like, okay, done. I am done with that. I am not touching that again, you know, instead of tackling maybe the one with the highest interest, which is going to take a while. It could take 6 months or a year or whatever. So yeah, you can weigh that out for yourself. Like if you would rather have some, like a good feeling sooner, like pay something off sooner rather than later. And yeah, it just depends on the person. Some people like the more instant gratification, or like, no, I will wait. I will pay off because of that high interest credit card. You know, it might be worth it to just tackle that and the other little ones if they aren't charging you any interest. So yeah, and there's tons of, I'm not a financial expert or anything. I have just been in that situation for many years and decades, and now I'm not in it, but I know what it's like. And there's tons of information online and on YouTube, and people that can help if you're just not sure. Or I have my email in the description box if you have a question, or leave a message and leave a comment down below, and other people can always answer as well. So hope those help if anyone's thinking about possibly doing one of those this year. And I will see everyone in the next video. And I can't remember if I mentioned at the beginning that there's a playlist, so you can watch all of them through to see each one has 5 things that something might touch with kind of what you're thinking. Okay, well, I hope everyone's having a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.